Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another video for both Nintendo Switch and, would you believe it, Pokemon Sun and Moon. An article from Eurogamer just went up, and as always you can find that link down below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But in the article they stated that it seems Pokemon Sun and Moon will launch for Nintendo Switch later next year. Now the interesting thing with this is that of course Nintendo Switch is their new hybrid console, it's portable and it's a home console. They have announced recently that production of the Wii U is stopping. They're of course turning all their attention to the Nintendo Switch, and the question that has come up quite a bit is what happens to Nintendo 3DS? If this new console is the handheld and the home console, are they also going to begin phasing that out? And while they haven't announced that yet, it is of course something that will more than likely happen over the next few years. I very much doubt Nintendo are in a rush to do that, given how successful the 3DS is, but there will come a point, you know, the console has been around for a fair bit of time, so there will come a point where they will probably consolidate all their efforts into the Nintendo Switch. So, that then means what happens to 3DS support. And if this is to be believed, then we may well get a Pokemon version on Switch. However, it's not just going to be a Sun and Moon port. If you guys have been playing Pokemon for a while, then you are familiar with the fact that you typically get two versions when a game comes out: Red, Blue, Black, White, Emerald, Ruby, and in this case, Sun and Moon. And then sometimes, further down the line, they release a third version, which is, again, set in the same region, but of course does have its subtle differences, as the other versions do, and this is then the third version. So, the article from Eurogamer reads as follows. They said that multiple sources have told them that the game is already well in development. It'll launch in 2017 and currently holds the codename Pokemon Stars. And of course, as they rightly mentioned, earlier generations of Pokemon games have featured a third title, and it may well be that this third title for Switch is basically the gap between Sun and Moon. You know, it makes sense. It's the whole sort of like space theme for this one, not the actual in-game, but you know, the whole naming Sun, Moon, planets, whatnot. So stars wouldn't be too far removed, but they did state that if this does happen, this will be the first time that they've seen a mainline Pokemon series spanning separate Nintendo consoles with the same generation of games. I don't know at this stage whether Pokemon Stars A is real, and B would come to the 3DS as well for those people that don't buy Nintendo Switch, or whether it would exclusively be on Switch. But regardless, that is pretty cool. I mean, when you consider that the Switch is a really awesome looking console, it's got a nice big screen, so that would be great for immersion if you're playing it on the go, but similarly if you take it home and you dock it, a full screen, traditional mainline Pokemon experience on the big screen could be incredible. I don't know whether it would just be like a straight port, or whether they would, I would imagine, if they're developing it specifically for Switch, they'd probably try and, you know, amp up the graphics a bit, make it a little bit more like an HD version, but that is still incredibly exciting. Of course, as with any news like this, please take it with a huge grain of salt, because until we hear anything from Nintendo, which by the way won't be until next year at the absolute earliest, because they have stated they will not be saying anything more about Switch until their presentation in January, so for the time being, this is nothing but rumour. However, it is worth noting that Eurogamer have been on point with some of their reports in the past, some of the stuff with regards to Switch before it was announced, so while you can't take it as gospel, it is at least a reliable source. Anyway, that is pretty much it. Just a really quick video, but wanted to let you guys know because that could also be an exciting prospect for, say, other 3DS games. Who knows, maybe we'll get a Monster Hunter game on Switch. That could be really cool. But for the time being, thank you for watching. Make sure you keep it locked to both this channel and the second channel, because in a couple of hours, I will have loads of Pokemon Sun videos going live, so definitely don't miss those. But thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.